Grand Rising. Grand Rising to Her Royal Majesty Queen Romana Didelot, and Grand Rising to Her Excellency Darlene Ondi, our Press Secretary and Acting Chief of Staff. Grand Rising to my fellow National Ministers and National Deputy Ministers. Grand Rising to everyone who is present here with us today and joining us online from around Kingdom of Canada and the world. Today is November 18, 2024, day 1 of 7. And it's a beautiful day in Richmond, the capital of Saskatchewan in the Kingdom of Canada. I am alive. I am Her Excellency Wendy Ann Charlton, National Minister of Well, appointed by Her Royal Majesty Queen Romana Didelot, and I'm also appointed as Deputy Press Secretary. I am honored and privileged to be appointed, and this is a great privilege for me, and with a great privilege comes great responsibility. I am here for the safety, security, and sovereignty of all the IAMs of the Kingdom of Canada and the IAMs around the world. I am your host of the Kingdom of Canada's ministers. And I welcome all the IAMs of Canada, the Kingdom of Canada, and I welcome all the VIPs of the VIPs who are our baby boys and baby girls, and they are our future. Welcome to all the ancestors, and without them, we would not be here today in Her Royal Majesty Queen Romana Didelot's timeline, now in the new era. Welcome to our honored guests who are watching online, heads of state, presidents, prime ministers, crown princes, crown princesses, majesties, kings and queens, emperors and empresses. Welcome to all the 7 continents of North and South America, Africa, Asia, Australia, Eurasia, and the Middle East and Antarctica. I welcome all the provincial ministers and city coordinators. And today, it is my honor and privilege to introduce to you His Excellency John Bruce Davies, who is now the National Minister of Energy and Electricity. Welcome.
Greetings, Her Excellency Wendy Ann Charlton.
Thank you.
Thank you for hosting.
Thank you.
Grand Rising to Her Royal Majesty Queen Romana Didelot and all IAMs of the Kingdom of Canada and around the world. I have recently been granted the position and honor of National Minister of Energy and Electricity. I have taken an oath for this ministry. I would like to share my oath with we the people in the Kingdom of Canada and all IAMs around the world. I am His Excellency John Bruce Davies, swear by Benevolent Grand Master Creator to be loyal to the Kingdom of Canada's nationals, the Kingdom of Canada, Her Royal Majesty Queen Romana Didelot, not to divulge any of the state secrets, to maintain its interests and regulations internally and externally, and to perform my duties with honor, honesty, integrity, and sincerity. As Minister of Energy and Electricity, I will do the following. Number 1, harm not we the people of the Kingdom of Canada, the Kingdom of Canada, Her Royal Majesty Queen Romana Didelot, and we the people of the world. Number 2, I will ensure 110% of electricity supply is available to the Kingdom of Canada's industrial sector at all times, using all forms of electricity sources that are reliable, sustainable, and renewable. Number 3, I will ensure 110% of electricity supply is available to the Kingdom of Canada's commercial sector at all times, using all forms of electricity sources that are reliable, sustainable, and renewable. Number 4, ensure 110% of electricity supply is available to the Kingdom of Canada's medical sector at all times, using all forms of electricity that are reliable, sustainable, and renewable. Number 5, I will ensure 110% of electricity supply is available to the Kingdom of Canada's residential sector at all times, using all forms of electricity sources that are reliable, sustainable, and renewable. Number 6, all public electricity companies to cease and desist all electricity invoicing, which is double billing, to the Canadian nationals. Number 7, zero export of electricity until the Kingdom of Canada has reached 50% surplus of the national electricity daily requirement from all sectors in the Kingdom of Canada. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is.
And thank you for that.
You're welcome. I would like to start today discussing some of the different types of energy and electricity methods currently being utilized to generate electricity and methods of energy production that will be used moving forward in the Kingdom of Canada, as well as some facts about the energy and electricity industry that will open new horizons in a way in which we think about our energy needs in the new era of Her Royal Majesty Queen Romana Didilo's royal decrees under natural law in the Kingdom of Canada.
And we are in the new era right now. And where can we find these royal decrees?
At www.thekingdomofcanada.ca.
Yes, and currently I think there's 266?
65.
Okay, so
Changing all the time.
all the time, and new ones coming all the time. Thank you. So when we talk about the royal decrees, they're all under natural law, and we just touch on part of it, right? So that if the IMs want to read the whole royal decree, they could go and read it in its entirety.
Right, and I do believe there's 267.
And more
Up to
coming.
date?
Yeah, more coming.
Yes.
Yes.
So during the late 19th and early 20th century, many different countries around the world used hydropower, meaning water power, to aid in industry and farming. Hydropower was used to turn water wheels in grain mills, sawmills, etc. This allowed companies to expand services to supply populations their different products. Over many decades, water power has evolved into modern-day hydroelectric power generation dams in many different countries. In the Kingdom of Canada, we have several hydroelectric generation dams. Every province and territory has hydroelectric generation capabilities. The Kingdom of Canada, having an abundance of water, makes this a very viable, clean, renewable source of electricity. Niagara Falls, Ontario is well known for the Sir Adam Beck hydroelectric power generation station. The Sir Adam Beck generation station in Niagara Falls, Ontario began producing power in 1922. The original cost to build the Sir Adam Beck generating station was approximately $25 million at the time of its construction in 1920s. Adjusted for inflation, this would be equivalent to around $750 million today. It was originally known as the Queenston Chippewa Hydroelectric Plant. Another large hydroelectric dam that is scheduled to be completed in approximately 4 months is named the Site C Dam Project. It is located 14 kilometers southwest of Fort St. John, British Columbia. This was a mega project started by the old defunct corporate system. The Site C Dam project in British Columbia began construction in 2015. The project reached a major milestone with the completion of the Earthfill Dam in November of 2023. Reservoir filling started on August 25th, 2024, and is expected to be completed within 4 months. The project is on track to have all 6 generating units in service by 2025. So that's fairly soon.
Yes. And
The reservoir is all full. It's ready to go. The old corporate government allowed the cost of the Site C Dam project that was originally started with a budget of $8.8 billion has now ballooned to a whopping $16 billion.
How much?
$16 billion.
From what?
$8.8 billion.
Okay.
Since 2014, the province of BC has seen 3 different provincial finance ministers and 3 different national finance ministers. How is a mega project allowed to be so badly mismanaged that the budget has literally doubled? This project will be forensically audited, make no mistake. Her Royal Majesty Queen Ramana Digilo's Royal Decree number 221 further financial forensic audits on all mother accounts, expense accounts, discretionary accounts, onshore and offshore accounts.
So I am pretty sure that that will be discovered, how that could, what did it do? Double?
Yeah, it literally doubled.
It doubled.
The costs. So that should never happen.
No, it shouldn't happen
There should
because
maybe a contingency percentage, 10
or
20%, maybe,
20%,
but
yeah, but not double.
double. And we're talking billions.
Yes,
50
billions.
doubling. So let's compare the power generation capacities of the Site C Dam and the Sir Adam Beck hydroelectric generation station.
So before we continue on, could you tell me who is Sir Adam Beck?
Sir Adam Beck was a Canadian politician, probably with lots of money, and he was a hydroelectricity advocate, and he founded the Hydroelectric Commission.
So that's why it's named after him.
Right.
Okay, I just wanted to understand why it was called after him.
Right.
Okay.
So
Continue.
if we compare the power generation of Site C Dam and the Sir Adam Beck hydroelectric generation stations, keeping in mind the cost today for the Sir Adam Beck hydro dam today would be equivalent to $750 million as opposed to $16 billion. So the Site C Dam at $16 billion only generates half of what the Sir Adam Beck Dam generates.
Okay.
So the Site C Dam generates 5,100 gigawatt hours annually, and the Sir Adam Beck hydroelectric generation station generates 13,800 gigawatts annually.
That's quite
More
a big
than
difference.
double.
Big
Yeah.
difference, eh?
Yeah.
Yes.
So annual generation, the Sir Adam Beck stations generate significantly more electricity annually, 13.8, as compared to the Site C Dam at 5,100.
Okay, so that's more than double.
Yes.
That's just about triple if it was up to 15
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah, that's
13,
true.
right?
Yeah.
Because it's 13.8, right?
Yeah.
So it's just about triple.
So that's an old dam. The technology is pretty much the same, but
Right.
so over the decades, the Kingdom of Canada has built an extensive network of high voltage transmission lines. There are well over 166,000 kilometers of high voltage transmission lines across the country. These lines are crucial for transporting electricity from power generation facilities to homes, businesses, and industries. Canada also has an extensive hydro transmission lines for exporting electricity to the United States. One notable project is the Champlain Hudson Power Express, which involves 545-kilometer or 339-mile fully buried line capable of delivering 1,250 megawatts of clean hydropower to New York City. Additionally, Hydro-Quebec operates the Hertel New York interconnection line, spanning 57.7 kilometers or 35.6 miles to facilitate power exports.
So with the royal decree that we won't be exporting more than 25%, right?
Yeah, well, until our
Is 110%.
until our power needs are well taken care of, there won't be any
We
export
won't
of
know. So
hydro.
that's the whole system's calculation of what they were exporting, right?
Yes.
So that's,
Well, these are the lines that the old system we're using to export, and they're there in the future if we
if
decide
it's,
to export electricity.
yes, but it has
But
to
as
be a
it
certain
stands right now,
percentage.
there-
And
There are many instances where the old system was exporting electricity to foreign interests before taking care of the needs of the Canadian nationals, farmers, businesses, electrical
Because-
needs first.
the Canadian nationals and the Kingdom of Canada needs to be self-sufficient, so we need to use what we need first.
Right.
Canada first, right?
Yes. We have more than enough electricity and generation.
Because of the abundance of water in the Kingdom of Canada.
Right. We have also other means of generating electricity as well. We need to keep it here and take care of our own
Yes,
Canadian nationals first.
yes.
The Kingdom of Canada will not be exporting any hydroelectricity to foreign interests as per Her Royal Majesty's Royal Decree number 245.
So that's 245.
Right.
Royal Decree.
And as quoted by Her Royal Majesty Queen Ramana Didulo, forthwith the sale and export of electricity inside and outside the Kingdom of Canada is prohibited and unlawful. So another topic for the IMs around the world is right from the beginning of time, these corporate thugs, we called leaders, just assumed the ownership of our natural resources for their own monetary gain and control of we the people. They put meters and price tags on all our resources to make profits for themselves, selling back to we the people resources that were rightfully ours from the beginning and not looking after we the people first and foremost.
And it was all by design. It was for their benefit.
Correct. And two amazing royal decrees that come to mind, decreed from a true monarch, Her Royal Majesty Queen Ramana Didulo, is Royal Decree number 58. All natural resources of the Kingdom of Canada now belong to we the people of the Kingdom of Canada. To the attention of we the people of the Kingdom of Canada, effective immediately, March 5th, 2022, retroactive February 5th, 2022, all natural resources of the Kingdom of Canada now belongs to we the people of the Kingdom of Canada. This means all natural resources in every province, territory of the Kingdom of Canada are now nationalized and owned by every Canadian national. And so it is. Peace, prosperity, or perish. I don't play politics.
Well, so that's very interesting that it all is under number 223.
So we own them now. They can't bill us for them.
No,
And Her Royal Majesty's given them back to we the people.
yes,
So there's no intention to bill us for
that's right.
electricity.
We're not in the old system anymore. This is the new era. We're in it.
Another royal decree is number 223. All live Homo sapiens, living, breathing, blood flowing, Canadian nationals, baby girl, baby boy, lady, man, born on this planet Earth are to be known as Indigenous, forthwith entitled equal share to all natural resources found in the Kingdom of Canada. Exceptions are robots, artificial intelligence, machines, or clones. This royal decree is effective immediately, and so it is. Peace, prosperity, and love.
And that is a very, very important royal decree. We are all Indigenous, not just the select few from the old system. Correct?
Right. So this takes care of pipelines going through certain land masses and
Yes.
protests for, this is our land, not your land, and
Yes.
this is our water, not your water.
Yeah,
that type
it
of stuff.
belongs to every Canadian national.
As it was in the very, very beginning. It
Yes.
was all the water, land, and sea were all here before any of us, right?
Before any of us. And you can't own something that was already here.
And for decades now, we the people have been bombarded with the narrative being pushed around the earth, touting of climate change, global warming, half the earth will be underwater in 10 years, etc., etc. Well, that's all it's been, a narrative. The latest narrative is carbon emissions, zero carbon footprint, created to generate more revenue from taxes. These narratives are designed to project fear onto we the people, allowing old system government and corporations to create industries and generate trillions of dollars in profits for their own self-interest. This is all corruption, money laundering, artificial famine, fraud, intentional economic sabotage. We're all made up of carbon.
Yes, so if it's zero carbon, they just want to get rid of us too.
That's true.
Because we're carbon. If it's zero, they don't want us here either.
And all the vegetation on the planet, trees, flowers, they all make oxygen from
Absorbing the carbon.
Carbon dioxide.
And the ecosystem, and it's all by design for everything to flourish, including the Homo sapiens that breathe oxygen.
Right. So plants make oxygen and
we emit carbon,
yeah,
and we help the plants, and the plants help us.
right. So
Yes.
it's just another scam.
Yeah, and they're all lies. But
The
we're
old-
awake now, right?
Correct. The old system governments have been pushing green, clean energy narrative now for decades. The solar panel industry and the wind turbine industry are two of the ones being pushed the hardest. Let's take a look at the solar panel narrative. These unsightly solar panel farms littering the landscape, taking up thousands and thousands of acres of land to create a minimal amount of electricity per acre of land. Recycling of the old panels is a huge issue. Solar power is dependent on sunlight, making it an intermittent power source. Nighttime power generation is nil and significantly reduced on inclement weather days. Otherwise, the household has to be connected to a power utility company to make up for the shortfalls.
So it's just a win-win for the solar panel sale, because if you think about it, if they're all covered with snow, do they still produce the power?
I think it's more to generate profits for corporations.
Yes.
Where they create an industry of building these panels in factories, and then there's installation of them, and then of course they get funding from the old system government.
Oh, yes,
all that
yes.
Cacrocracy, right?
Yes, it is.
So now let's take a look at the wind turbine farms. Again, these unsightly wind turbine blades littering the landscapes, and now even into our oceans. This is pushed as clean energy, wind turbines actually pull power from the power grid to get them rotating and to adjust the pitch of the blades, etc. The turbine of these units are filled with gallons and gallons of oil to keep them cool, so they don't catch fire due to friction. Because of the materials they are constructed with are all resins and carbon fiber, they're very flammable. It is estimated that up to 700,000 birds meet their demise from wind turbines annually.
So let's just talk about that for a second. So it's a Go Green initiative,
Yeah,
but it's actually using fossil fuel to go green.
yes, correct.
So how could that be positive?
Well, again, it's creating an industry where corporations can make large amounts of money, right?
And those great big huge blades, they usually have 3 on them. Where do they recycle these?
Some of them, they just bury the blade. The blades are about 120 to 300 feet long. Some of them, the ones out in the ocean are generally the longer blades. And they say they last 20 years, but just tiring from wind stress and stuff like that.
So I'm just thinking about these blades and how large they are. They must have a pretty good sized motor to keep them turning. So how much oil would they use a day?
Well, the oil would be, it wouldn't be a daily thing. It would just be the generation, the turbine in there would be full of oil to
Yeah,
cool it,
yeah.
to keep it cool so it doesn't, so the thing gets going too fast, which they're regulated, but sometimes they get away from them and we get going too fast and get too hot and then start on fire. And
Yeah.
you've seen
So
some of
I
those
was
videos.
just making a point to myself about using fossil fuel to go green.
Sometimes they chop them up, grind them up, put them in cement. That's one way
As
to
a
get rid of some of them.
reinforcement? Yeah, okay.
Because it's carbon fiber, right?
Yes.
And then the other way they used to get rid of them is to incinerate them.
Oh, and then produce all of those toxins into the air.
Yeah, create toxic gases and stuff. It's going. So how green is that, right?
That's what we're trying to get. They're trying to get away from by going green, right?
Right.
So it's
So her Royal Majesty's put a stop to this. You know, it's just fraud,
it is.
basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Her Royal Majesty Queen Romana Didilo, with Royal Decree number 29, is putting an end to this cacrocracy of these industries built on false narratives. So Royal Decree 29, solar, wind, and electric vehicles. I am Queen Romana Didilo of the Kingdom of Canada, hereby issue this Royal Decree effective today, January 3rd, 2022. Effective immediately. I hereby decree the nullification, cancellation of the following: any and all financial subsidies, investments, and tax credits provided to any and all companies in the Kingdom of Canada and elsewhere in the following industries.
So before we continue on, I just want to talk about last year in the province of British Columbia. They were promoting electric bikes,
Okay.
but the narrative was you had to do your income tax and then they would give you a rebate.
Okay.
So, but then once you did your income tax and you got your rebate on this electric bike, they knew exactly where you lived. So it was playing all into their narrative
Right.
of
Control.
and 15-minute cities.
Correct.
So that was one of the narratives about electric bikes.
There's a lot of wind farms, trying to start up, and unfortunately, I think they're done.
Well, they are done, but there was incentives, right?
Right.
And the IMs thought it was a good deal.
Yeah. Well,
And-
they play on the IM's emotions and stuff with it's the green narrative and save the planet, all that kind of stuff, right?
Yes.
So
But I'm glad that you're bringing these forward so that, we discuss it and.
yeah, I'm just trying to show the different types of energy generation that are out there, which ones are, hocus, and which ones are the benefit ones that Queen Romana's we're going to be using in the Kingdom of Canada.
Yes, and I appreciate that. And I'm sure that the IMs are appreciating your information. So I'll let you continue on.
Okay, so now I'd like to move out of the Stone Ages to the new era of Her Royal Majesty Queen Romana Digilo's royal decrees under natural law. The whole world is under natural law. Thanks to Her Royal Majesty Queen Romana Digilo, the Kingdom of Canada is well on its way to be considered a nuclear superpower. A nuclear superpower. The Kingdom of Canada is so abundant and rich in natural resources. Uranium is one resource that is used to generate nuclear power and electricity in conventional nuclear reactors. Northern Saskatchewan has an abundant supply of uranium to be mined and processed. The Kingdom of Canada's conventional nuclear reactors are named CANDU reactors. CANDU conventional nuclear reactors have always had a great reputation around the world. The Kingdom of Canada has enormous deposits of high-grade uranium that, once processed, can supply to countries around the world.
As
Let's
long
Canada's
as,
taken
yeah.
care of first.
Yes. as long
Canada
as
first.
Canada
Kingdom
first.
of Canada first.
Yes. Kingdom of Canada needs to be self-sufficient before anything leaves.
Her Royal Majesty Queen Romana Digilo operates in 26D, miles and miles ahead of the rest. Nuclear energy is the future. There are many different types and methods of nuclear power generation. The old system pushed the narrative that generating nuclear energy and power from conventional nuclear reactors was so dangerous and that the waste disposal was such a problem. Fear-mongering tactics used once again. Research will prove different. Do you remember the accident, in quotes, concerning the reactors in Fukushima, Japan?
I do, yes.
Mainstream media led we the people to believe that an earthquake hit Japan out of the blue and a massive amount of heavy water saturated with harmful radiation leaked out into the ocean. A tsunami would be generated that was going to travel the ocean and hit North America. Well, the real reason for that reactor failing was the deep state wanted Japan to hand over the keys to their country's central bank or suffer the consequences.
And that was the consequence.
That was the consequences. The deep state or the black hats are able to control weather with HARP technologies for years and years, decades.
Mm-hmm.
So they conveniently had an earthquake hit Japan and cause the damage to those reactors. The mainstream media instructed to embellish the actual damage. Situations are not always what they appear to be. Fear is one of the best manipulation tools to make population believe certain narratives. Keep that in mind.
Yes.
Rest assured, with Her Royal Majesty Queen Romana Digilo at the helm, these types of terrorism crimes will not be tolerated. With the new technologies that have been kept from we the people, these incidences are non-issues.
And we call them new technologies, but they're not new. They've been around for a long time. They were just hidden from us, correct?
Correct.
And now they are being exposed with the new royal decrees and under natural law.
There's many different types of nuclear power generation. There's fission reactors, there's fusion reactors, There's the conventional reactors. There's in the military on the aircraft carriers, they use a reactor that splits hydrogen cells to they can run in the ocean for years
Really?
without coming into without coming back to port.
Well, isn't that interesting?
It is.
It is, and it's just amazing.
For- So Her Royal Majesty Queen Romana Didelot at the helm. These types of crimes will not be tolerated. Conventional nuclear reactors, if maintained with proper management and meticulous care, is a safe, clean, reliable, abundant source of generating electricity for the Kingdom of Canada and our Canadian nationals. Her Royal Majesty Queen Romana Didelot's Royal Decree has released funding for all conventional nuclear reactors in the Kingdom of Canada. Each and every province have received funding of between $120 million to $150 million. Royal Decree number 245, conventional nuclear power plants for electricity generation for Canadian nationals, residential and farming use. Funding release.
So if the IMs want to find out how much per province was released, they could go look up the Royal Decree number 245, correct?
Correct.
And find the amount for each and every province and territory, correct?
Correct. Each and every province, territory received funding. Some provinces don't have nuclear reactors yet, and this money is, get the provinces to start
To
get
start.
into the program,
Yes,
because it's what's going to be moving forward.
and it will produce free electricity for the Canadian nationals of the Kingdom of Canada, correct?
Correct.
So, and every province has been issued between 120 to 150 million to
Right.
get started, if
Correct.
they haven't got
Released
one
in
yet.
4 funding phases.
Okay,
So that's all in the decree. If you want to go to www.kingdomofcanada.ca and look up Royal Decree number 245, you can read all about it. But I'm going to read some of the points from the decree that I think
Okay.
are important.
yeah, just,
Her Royal Majesty, forthwith all electricity power generated from the Kingdom of Canada's conventional nuclear power plants are to be supplied to Canadian nationals and Canadian farmers, Kingdom of Canada's nationals, free of charge. Imagine that.
can you imagine, and with the farmers being a free power, how they'll be able to produce food and hemp and everything that needs to keep the Kingdom of Canada self-sufficient?
Well, just here's an example of I have an example of a hydro bill in front of me here, and the hydro bill charge for the month is $166.
Okay,
Okay, the delivery of that hydro is $70.
$70.
So
Okay, so let's work it backwards. So that's what, $96 to work it backwards, just to see exactly how much the electricity was costing, right? Because it was 166.
yeah,
Okay, and what other charges were on there?
you can have a regulatory charge, which is
Another what?
another $9.
Okay, so let's take 10 off, so let's go to 87.
Yep.
Let's round it off. And what else was on there?
Well, you have your GST and your
Okay, what
or
was
your
the,
HST. I mean,
yeah, and how much was that?
it's up here, $23.
23, so let's take off 25 from 87. Let's go back to 60, correct?
Right. So really, the half the hydro bill is delivering it.
More than half. if you went back to 60
Yeah,
from 166, look at an extra $100
yeah,
just for delivery.
yeah.
And they're delivering a product that they got free. That was the
And
old
then-
system, correct?
And then, yes, and then you have three different, you've got mid-peak.
So at mid-peak, is it a higher charge or
Oh
is
yeah,
it
there's
lower?
all different charges.
So as the month
Per
goes
kilowatt
along,
hour.
and as you use the kilowatts, it's so much for so many kilowatts and then so much for the next kilowatts.
So again, they create the lack, right? Oh my God, electricity, there's not enough electricity for everybody. We gotta, you know, it's not bad enough you work 12 hours a day, you gotta do your laundry in the middle of the night. You know, like it's kind of silly.
But so.
But it's a narrative and they, people want to survive, that's what
Yeah,
they do,
and
right?
we're encouraging the IMs to look at their bills. And that's why I think that they wanted to go paperless. So they just, you know how much your bill is and it automatically comes out of your account.
Right,
Then you got to go search for the bill,
when you
correct?
need it, yeah.
So if you're not really paying attention, you're not seeing exactly how much delivery charges and all that.
Correct.
So have a look at the bills.
Okay, getting back to the
Okay.
points of the decree. That was number 2. Number 1 is the funding amounts. Number 2 is the free electricity. And number 3 is forthwith all electrical vehicle charging stations and wind farms, etc., currently drawing electricity power from any and all publicly owned power grids, power sources. Example, Sask Energy is a Crown corporation, BC Hydro, and there's Quebec Hydro, are prohibited.
Yes, they're all the old system.
And forthwith, the sale and export of electricity inside and outside the Kingdom of Canada is prohibited and unlawful.
And so it is.
And I made a statement, I think about 2 weeks ago, stating that forthwith shut off, dismantle, and remove all digital Honeywell electric meters and all electric residential meters across the Kingdom of Canada. And this must be completed within 30 days, effective today. And that was dated back to September 4th.
And you
Yeah,
put in a
September 4th,
policy on that,
2024.
correct?
I did.
Yes.
A statement. I put a statement
Oh,
on.
you put a statement, okay.
And number 6, forthwith ensure all general contractors previously known as employees are Canadian nationals only at all nuclear power plants facilities across the Kingdom of Canada. So we want Canadian nationals working at the
Yes,
nuclear generation plants.
yes. Canadian nationals working for Canadian nationals, for the Kingdom of Canada to be self-sufficient. And every Canadian national can be prosperous. Correct?
Correct. And violators of this royal decree shall be charged with economic sabotage, treason, enslavement, slavery, financial fraud, corruption, embezzlement, crimes against Homo sapiens, and crimes against humanity. And a daily financial penalty of $1 billion backed by gold and silver for every violation or infraction. This royal decree is effective immediately. And so it is.
And so it is.
And another beautiful royal decree is Royal Decree number 115. And that is use of fusion energy to supply free energy to all the people, businesses, machines, and all types of transport vehicles in the Kingdom of Canada. Just keeps getting better and better.
So what is fusion energy? Can I ask you that?
It's a different type of a reactor.
Okay,
And
but it's free.
correct.
So
Could be hydrogen, using hydrogen molecules. I'm not
Okay,
exactly sure.
but
It's,
it's going to be free
It's a
anyway.
smaller version. It's a smaller reactor.
Okay,
It creates a massive amount of energy.
okay.
Uh, I am Queen Ramada Digil of the Kingdom of Canada. Hereby issue this royal decree effective today, April 18th, 2023, permitting the use of fusion energy to be used to supply free energy to the entire kingdom and we the people of the Kingdom of Canada. This royal decree is effective immediately. And so it is.
And so it is.
And to add to all that exciting news, as quoted by Her Royal Majesty Queen Ramada Digilo, June 16th, 2024, in the Kingdom of Canada, royal decree to follow, electricity to be transmitted wirelessly,
Wirelessly.
unsightly electric cables hanging everywhere, zero. And so it is.
And so it is.
Can you imagine all the hydro poles and electric wires removed from the skyline?
Huge.
Be just totally, that's mind blowing.
It is
Just-
because it will be wireless.
We're so used to looking through the wires and the poles and we don't even really realize they're there anymore. But to have them gone,
Oh, I never thought
That
about
would
that
open
till
up
you
the-
mentioned that.
that would open up the whole
Whole
landscape.
landscape, yes.
Another very, very clean source of energy is natural gas and liquefied natural gas.
What's the difference? Can you tell me?
The Kingdom of Canada is very abundant. Most provinces have natural gas, and the natural gas is removed from the earth, and then it's taken to processing plants, and it's condensed down to a liquid form, which
Okay.
makes it easier to ship.
Okay.
You can ship it overseas
So that,
large-
thank
large
you
ships
for that
and-
explanation, because now I can understand the difference.
So they're building large
Refinery?
refineries to condense the natural gas into liquid natural gas.
Is it easier to transport liquid natural gas around the Kingdom of Canada when
Well,
it's
then it can
liquid?
be put in a pipeline and it could be shipped across the country.
Oh, and that would work in with the,
Every province is going to have their own,
yeah,
but
Okay.
if need be, if a province gets in a crunch and they, then another province could
step in and
step
send
in
some to
and,
them.
fill what they don't have.
Yeah,
And it also could be like I'm just gonna get into that, but there's a large deposits of natural gas in British Columbia.
okay.
So another very, very clean source of energy is natural gas and liquefied natural gas. The Kingdom of Canada is one of the largest producers of liquefied natural gas. In northeast British Columbia and the Monterey Basin is abundant in natural gas. A liquefied natural gas plant in Kitimat, British Columbia converts natural gas to liquefied natural gas. The liquefied natural gas will be shipped to the coast via coastal gas line pipeline. Provinces such as Alberta have started and completed construction of natural gas fueling stations aimed at the trucking industry.
Oh,
These stations are part of a $70 million partnership between Tourmaline Oil Corp, Canada's largest natural gas producer, and California-based Clean Energy Fuels Corporation, who together have committed to build a network of natural gas fueling stations across Western Canada to help heavy haul trucks get off diesel,
okay.
because diesel's kind of dirty.
Yeah, yes. And natural gas is a cleaner.
Very clean. If you
Clean.
take apart a motor that's run on natural gas, there's no carbon buildup in it. It's clean.
It's
There's
clean.
no black in there. I had a truck that ran on propane. It was amazing.
And propane's just another
Natural gas.
gas. Yeah, natural gas.
Natural gas is also used in the production of electricity. First, the natural gas is burned in a combustion engine which turns a turbine, and then the hot gas is moved into a boiler which boils water to produce steam, which in turn turns another turbine, thus producing electricity. The creation of oil has been labeled with the fable that oil is a fossil fuel. The story is dinosaurs roamed the earth for millions of years, and when they were destroyed, their remains decomposed, and that is what creates the oil in the ground.
What a narrative.
Yeah,
Now we know that.
Everybody believed that.
Well, yes, they did until.
But oil is the second most available liquid on the planet.
And it
replenishes itself.
Yes, it replenishes itself. So that narrative for the IMs and ourselves that know that now, that is great information.
So that's pretty much what I have to say. In closing, I would like to show a couple of videos. It's a little off topic. It's still energy creation that we the people use, quite a bit.
Yes, and it's
the airline
very
industry.
informative. Very informative.
And so it's a little off topic, but it is still about energy production and what narratives are being told to we the people. On the subject of not everything appears to be what it looks like, we the people have been fed many lies during our lifetime. Just watch these short videos and use your own discernment. The air travel industry always feeding we the people the narrative that the cost of flights have to go up because of the price of fuel. When in fact, well, I'll let you decide.
Yes, let's watch the video.
Cue the video.
Greetings, fellow air travelers. This video is for everyone who has ever bought an airline ticket. Hopefully at the end of this video I will have convinced you that there is a deception going on right in front of your eyes. Sometimes we also see the fuel being pumped into the wings. We think nothing of it. But what happens if we put our common sense hat on and take another look? According to their own specifications, the A380 can take 323,525 litres of jet fuel in the wing tanks. That works out at roughly 260 metric tons, or 130 tons of fuel in each wing. I'll let that sink in for a minute because that is very, very heavy. That is the same as 16 red London double-decker buses on each wing. Or to put it another way, a herd of 22 fully grown elephants on each wing. How does that sound to you? Pretty incredible, right? But you can look this information up in the specifications and check it for yourself. Most of us have seen a plane refueling. They connect one or two hoses underneath the wing, connect that to a pump on board a refueling truck, which then pumps the fuel from underground tanks. This takes about 45 minutes for a full load. We never see the amount being pumped because the tanks are not visible. Let's make them visible and see how that looks. 20,000 litre trucks to fill the A380. Where does all this fuel go? In the wings, you say? Okay, let's take a look at the wings, and you tell me where you think it all goes. This is the A380 wing. Pretty huge. Let's put a fuel truck next to it. And another. And another. And another. And 4 more. Just for this wing. Another 8 go into the other wing. Can you see what I'm saying?
Wow. Wasn't that something?
Yeah, isn't that telling?
Oh, wow.
And now we'll show another video.
What they tell us is they put 10 tons of liquid fuel in these wings of the planes. 10 tons of fuel in these wings. which would look like that in weight. All those, cars piled on those wings would equal the amount of fuel that they tell us that they put in the wings of the planes. And the wings don't tip, they don't, fall down a little bit when they get all that liquid in there, 10 tons. Well, something's up with that. That prompted me to definitely look into that a little bit more. And it came down to the turbines. And what the turbines do is they pull in the air, which is electrical. Air is electricity, Tesla knew that. Tesla figured that out, pull the atmospheric energy out of the air, and they pull that electrical air into these turbines, which have tuning forks in them. And these tuning forks can be tweaked and tuned. Right there. And that creates resonance, and that's what creates all that sound when you hear a turbine revving up. It's creating a frequency, which is going to turn that air, when it's compressed, into a gas, a fuel. So it's just taking the air, the electrical air out of our atmosphere, compressing it, resonating it to a certain frequency, a tone that will make it vibrate, turns it into a gas, bam, there's your free energy engine using the air. And how they figured that out was the Fibonacci sequence. Your Fibonacci sequence is in the turbine. So they use that Fibonacci sequence, which is in all of nature, your hurricanes, your tornadoes, your weather patterns, because the Fibonacci sequence is what they call the Coriolis effect, and the Coriolis effect is BS. This is what causes your flow of life.
So that was quite interesting, those two videos.
Yes, very, very. We've always thought they fill their wings full of fuel, right?
Well, how could they possibly, now that we know the narrative, how could they possibly do that? The wings would never support that weight.
No.
Correct?
Yeah, nowhere near.
Nowhere near.
No.
So,
Even the little off topic, but the pilots, when you see the pilots admitting that the Earth is flat, right?
yes.
So that's all I have.
Well, I really appreciated all of that information. I'm sure that all the IMs have appreciated it. And is there anything else you'd like to add?
I just want to thank you for hosting the ministers' meeting, and thank Her Majesty Queen Romana DiGello and all IMs around the world for being here listening. And thank you for your time.
Okay, and I would like to say thank you to you, and thank you to all the IMs in the Kingdom of Canada and around the world taking the time out to join us today for this Kingdom of Canada Ministers presentation. And with that, we are going to say peace, prosperity, and love to all until we see you again.